Bike shortages, that's not new news, right? So the shortage happened whenever there was this huge increase in demand. People started ordering bikes, the manufacturers could not keep up, and it just created absolute pandemonium. But we should be past that by now. Instead, what we are seeing are bikes constantly out of stock. They go on some crazy super sale, and then you can't get them and there's no ETA. So how does that make any sense? I think we are seeing bikes that are being pre-sold, and I think that we are seeing a much larger evaluation on market prices or proposed price points for further implementation in the future. At a base level, I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing. It's not uncommon in other industries, and I don't think it should be cause for alarm. However, I do think it is indicative of a larger problem, being the fact that bikes are kind of overpriced, and I don't think anybody would disagree with that statement. In 2019, we saw bike prices rise to the highest I think I've ever seen them go, and they really haven't settled down to a, in my opinion, fair level ever since then. And so, with that being said, I think that a lot of these large brands are actually testing these price points, so therefore they can go back, reverse engineer it, and figure out exactly how cheap they can make bikes, and then push them. Now, being that bike shops and bike brands have very, very strained relationships, I think that this is going to be cause for some concern, because we're already seeing the implementation of bikes with unsealed bearings, and we haven't seen that since what, the 70s or 80s? And now, before anybody gets too huffy about that, I'm not talking about just Walmart department store bikes. I'm talking about higher end bikes, anything you would find at a bike shop, or will you? And by that, I mean, are bike shops going to continue actually selling brand new bikes, or are we going to see a massive movement towards direct consumer marketing by all of these bike brands? There are already some brands who are already starting to reach out and try to do this, and to say that it has strained the relationship would be to put it very nicely. Unfortunately, it has been kind of coming for a while, but now that these brands who have specialized departments internally that are dedicated towards direct consumer marketing, they have now taken that money away from the bike shops. They have pulled the bike shops and their orders off their priority list. Therefore, they're sending their bikes to the customers, and basically overstock hits the shop floor, which is usually odd frame sizes and the bikes that people didn't really want to order, so they're not selling there. And that's not a good place to be if you're a bike shop whose sole income, other than repair and service work, is the sale of new bikes and the aftercare, because you're not going to get the aftercare if you didn't sell the bike in the first place. This presents challenges when you're just a consumer and you want to go buy a bike, because the bike shops aren't going to have what you want typically. They're not really going to be able to order what you want and get there in a timely fashion. So then you go direct to consumer, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know about you, but I have a very awkward feeling whenever I take my transition into a shop that specializes in Trek. It just feels a little weird. So you order a bike online and you wait. But here's the second problem. When, and quite frankly, if your package shows up undamaged, you can first off admire that beautiful package in all of its glory. But second, you've got to now assemble that bike. And I know that there are some of us out there who are very mechanically inclined, but generally, even these bike brands recommend having it built and assembled by a professional. That means bike shop. If you're lucky enough to have a good shop close to you that's willing to work on that bike, then great. However, if not, it's going to be very, very important to have a trusted source of information and knowledge so you can work on your bike at home. And a great place to learn how to work on your bike is this channel. I created Eva One MTB so I could connect with people, teach them how to work on their bikes, and create a bike-centric community. If that sounds like something that you want to be a part of, please consider hitting that button down below that says subscribe, as well as clicking that bell icon so you're notified every single time that I post. If not, that's perfectly all right too. I still appreciate you being here, and I can't wait to go ride with you sometime. If your local bike shop can't get the bike that you want, and you can't find it online, and you don't want to go through the whole awkward getting it assembled, it's not the bike they carry, that whole thing, consider buying a used bike. A lot of bike shops will buy bikes or take them in on consignment, and you can get absolutely killer deals on them. This bike behind me was about a $9,000–$10,000 build altogether. I did not pay that. I got about 70% off the actual retail price on this bike, and it was only about 1.5 years old. So consider that, and normally your bike shop will extend a warranty to you, or at least a guarantee that the bike is mechanically sound and put together properly. So that's a big plus. If you cannot find a used bike, a new bike from your bike shop, or a direct-to-consumer bike brand that can get a bike to you in your size, color, whatever your specifications are, don't worry and don't let it get you deflated. Sorry, I know that was cheesy. But anyways, if you can't do all of that and everything seems to fail, just be a little patient. We're in a very weird place in the market right now. We've got direct consumer that's becoming mainstream. We've got bike shops that are changing their entire model and becoming service and repair based only. And it's just a very, very weird time. One awesome place to find bikes, and my last bit of advice for navigating this marketplace, is joining owners groups on Facebook. A lot of bike brands have owners groups that aren't connected to the brand, so they're just owners that created their own little thing. And you can go on there, and people are normally posting their bikes there for sale, seeing if anybody's interested, because sometimes it gets a little bit higher price than marketplace. They don't have to deal with the haggling, as well as the fact that people who are genuinely interested in trying to find a certain color or size, or maybe even a bike that's spec'd more than stock, they post it there because it sells quicker. So consider joining those owners groups. They're really great places to be and great resources and wealths of knowledge, because in the case of this one, I was able to go in there before I even bought the bike, see what other people's ownership experience was like, and consider, is that something I want for myself? Are these things I can deal with? And what are the common complaints? That also helps prevent buyer's remorse. I hope all this helps you find the bike that you're looking for and navigate this marketplace. And if not, comment down below. I'll help you out as much as I possibly can. Pay no attention to this bike behind me. I am definitely not taking it on mountain bike trails in the next video. Appreciate you watching. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next video.